Welcome back on Halftime. Phil Elson, Drew Barrett, Matty T, and very happy to be joined by Justin Smith, former Arkansas Razorback forward. And that sounds weird, though, because we still view Justin as a Razorback, and that'll probably be until the end of time. And he joins us right here on Halftime. Justin, I said former Razorback. I don't think that's accurate, though, right now. You might have played your last game for the Hogs, but you're always a Razorback now, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think, after kind of the season that we had, and then kind of just how the fans embraced me and our team, I think I'm forever going to be a Razorback, whether I like it or not, and I like it, so that's all right.
I'm sure you like it too, for sure. And it's interesting because, man, I mean, your perspective now, from the words you just said, it was almost exactly a year ago that you actually came to Arkansas for the first time. Of course, you couldn't visit while you were making your decision where you were going to transfer to out of Indiana. So if you could go back in your mind, how long did it take to settle in and feel comfortable in the new surroundings at Arkansas that eventually you turned into your own surroundings?
Yeah, I think it was honestly about it was like a year. It's been a year and 2 days since I first touched down in Arkansas. But it only took me about a week to kind of get settled, because once I got into my routine and got into a rhythm, and then just got around the guys and the coaching staff, it kind of just felt like home. And, it just really, Coach Musson, in the credit to the kind of guys that we had on our team, it was just a really seamless transition.
Yeah, Muss has been known for being able to attract transfer guys just like yourself. What's one thing that Eric Musselman really emphasized that you think that you will carry for the rest of your career? Like, what's the one thing that will always stand out to you about Eric Musselman and how he taught and coached the game of basketball?
I think his whole philosophy on you have to put in the work. Nobody's really going to give it to you. And, we all talk, especially young players, we always talk about how we want to play in the NBA. We want to do all these fantastic things. We want to win a bunch of games. But the only way that you do any of that is if you actually put in the work and you kind of put your head down and, do, the not so flashy things. And I think that's what I really learned and took away from this past year, on a day-to-day basis.
Sometimes, Justin, I feel we think that work that you mentioned is just about, practice and being on the court and things like that.
Right.
Well, what I hear from Muss so often is about self-reflection upon yourself as a player, him as a coach, and preparation, not just off the court, but like classroom study things that he really drills in. As you're preparing, hopefully, to get a professional career started, did you feel that the way you were prepared also prepares you for a professional career?
Yeah, definitely. And even for anybody, whether it's in basketball or out in the real world, just being able to work hard and kind of, get used to, what it takes to be successful, it's invaluable, honestly. And so, yeah, definitely, I'm definitely going to carry that forward going forward.
Yeah, now that you are making that transition to the NBA, and we hear it all the time about how important it is to have the right people around you, and obviously you chose to go with Priority Sports. Is the main reason because they're based out of Chicago? I know you're from the Chicago area. Or what really stuck out about Priority that just made you want them to represent you?
Well, yeah, having them in close proximity allowed me to be a little bit more familiar with what they do and how they do things. But then also, with them being so close, I was able to, hear their pitch and hear, how they do things, but then also do my own homework and kind of get a gauge of, how they operate from an outside perspective. And everything was consistent, and I liked what I heard, so I decided to go with them.
3 weeks from the date of the draft here, and so I'm sure you're putting in a lot of work leading into that. What are your expectations for the NBA draft, and then moving forward, if you do not go amongst those 60 players that get selected?
I would say that for my expectations, I really don't have any expectations, whether it's in the second round or undrafted. I'm just looking for an opportunity to showcase what I can do, because I know that I can help a team win with what I do. And so, we're working with trying to just get that opportunity, and I think it's going to happen, with whoever.
Well, now, and I feel like one thing that was on display, and I don't know if this was a reason that you chose Arkansas or not. This year at Arkansas, your assists were way up, and it looked like the tempo that this team played at, the other guys around you, and the way that you guys obviously meshed, that was part of it. But it felt like you showed yourself to be an extremely good passer this season.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a part of my game that I felt I wasn't necessarily able to showcase at Indiana. But I think just the way that we play, it's kind of, at Arkansas, it's just positionless basketball. Anybody has the opportunity to make plays as long as you stay within yourself. And, I was able to showcase that during practice and, gave trust. That gave trust in for us to allow me to make those plays. And then my teammates, they did a really good job of, just making me look good, play or anything or something like that. So, it's something that I've taken older and more experience in the game. And, hopefully I can take that forward to the next level.
Yeah, not to get too kind of cliche here on you, but it's one of those questions that you hear all the time, and I'd really like to get the answer from people because I think from the outside we might see your game different than you see it as you play. So the cliche question is like, who in the NBA right now would you kind of compare your game to, and whose would you like to be about? I know it's cliche, but I like the answers.
I think right now, one of the main, especially during the playoffs, was kind of showcased was Bruce Brown on the Brooklyn Nets. Him being a kind of a smaller size forward, but not him necessarily, shooting a ton of shots or anything like that. But he was just rebounding, playing his role, playing defense, using athleticism. Guys like Draymond Green, where they're not necessarily all about scoring, they're all about getting their teammates involved, and even Jalen Tate's older brother, Jay-Sean Tate, what he was able to do down in Houston as what some would call an undersized big. Just kind of saying that the game is going towards a more positionless game where all five guys on the court need to be able to make plays. And it's kind of going small. Small ball has become the popular thing. So being able to utilize myself in that, and kind of mimic those types of guys, what they do best, could help me.
Justin, how have you felt since the end of the season, in which there's been this massive sea change now amongst and for college athletes, even in the last week, the ability to profit off of your name, image, and likeness? I'm sure that's something that you would have liked to be able to do in the 4 years that you were a student athlete as well. But at the same time, you know plenty of guys that now have the opportunity to do something with this. So what are the thoughts that you have now after this first week of student athletes rightfully being able to profit off of their NIL?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming. I think that it now gives players the opportunity to kind of build their own brands and kind of, profit off of what they're able to do. We are visible, especially as college athletes. We play on ESPN, Fox, CBS, all these primetime networks, but we're not able to kind of use the following that we get on social media and stuff like that. So I think it's good for the players, and I think it will only continue to, help people's family situations, and also, just give everybody a little bit more, sense of security on the financial side.
Yeah, and also with the NIL, it gives these athletes a chance to work with and represent companies that they really like, they use, and they kind of share the same morals. What would have been a company, either national or maybe even local up here in Northwest Arkansas, that you would have liked to have worked with during your time at Arkansas?
That's a good question. I would say that, just based off of what I was eating every single week, I would say probably Chick-fil-A or Chipotle. I was there every week, constantly. Those are two of my favorite, fast food restaurants. So I mean, I would like if they were also willing and interested to work with them. But that's something that I'd have to take a deeper look at for sure.
Justin, we'll let you go in just a moment here. I had to ask about the famous practice in January where, I don't know if that was the exact moment where things turned around, but, the famous weighted vest practice that Muss is talking about, you were just coming off of the injury. And I'm imagining that you must have been thinking, gosh, I mean, I'm trying to make sure I don't hurt myself again. What was that like for someone that was just coming off of the injury that you would come off of?
Well, I mean, I had heard there was rumors swirling around before practice that the weighted vests were going to come out. I did not wear a weighted vest since, because of my ankle, we did not want to put a lot of extra pressure on it and stuff like that. But I mean, when Coach Rich brought up the weighted vest, I was very surprised. And I mean, we didn't wear it. We didn't wear the weighted vest the whole practice, but it definitely took a little bit of a toll on our legs. But I think we got the message where we're like, we do not want to do that again. And we also kind of realized that we're a much better team than what we had put out on the floor the past 2 games. And we kind of had our own sense of pride where it's like, we have to prove it to everybody, but also prove it to ourselves that we are who we think that we can become. And I think we as the season went on, we just kept moving forward and kept showing what we were able to possibly do to be as a team.
When that happened, and when you see what happened for the team after that, I thought to myself, Eric Musselman has this reputation of being able to do so well at all of the new things that you have to worry about in college athletics, social media, transfer portal, that kind of stuff. I think he shows in so many ways that he is as old school as he is new school, and that whole situation said that to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been coaching for a long, long time. He has a lot of different experiences on all different types of levels, and I think when you have a coach like that who's kind of almost seen it all, they have different ways of going about it, and they're able to pull from the old school and blend it with the new school, and find different types of ways, to motivate a team or to get through to a team. So, I mean, kudos to him for deciding to do that and having it work out in the end,
Well, and kudos to you for the season that you individually put together, what you and the team did, and you can still feel that season reverberating throughout the state all these months later. And we'll certainly be rooting for you and following you moving forward, Justin. Thank you so much for your time, and best of luck.
All right, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Justin.
You got it, Justin Smith, Razorback forward, and talk to him out of Chicago today. All right, right back on Halftime after this. Stay tuned.